Hey team, welcome to Wimborne Boxing Club's channel. I'm Dave, and if this is the first time that with me, I'd like to welcome to our channel and just let you know that we produce boxing tutorials, coaching tips and tricks, and conversations like we're having today. So, if you like the sound of that, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell next to it, and you'll get notified every time we post a video. Let's jump into today's conversation all about pad holding. So it's the $1 million question. Do you pad using both pads? Do you pad just using single pads? Hopefully by the end of this conversation, this video, you'll have more of an idea on what works better for you. So I'm not going to give you an exact answer on what I think is better. I'm going to give you a few tips and a few pros of using both techniques. So like I said, at the end of it, you can come up with your own conclusion. Guys, if you've got any comments, any thoughts, any theories, whack them in the comment box and we can have a chat about them too. So let's go through holding for an orthodox boxer, single pad. So you'll find most of the shots as a single pad holder will go to, or all the straight shots at least anyway, will go to the rear hand of the pad holder. So I'm set up now, I know you can't see my feet, but I'm set up now in my boxing stance. So I do represent a real opponent, which sometimes when you go in two pads, pad holders fail to do. So anyway, I'm in my boxing stance. The first good point is the rear pad, which is where all the straight shots are going to land. I can put it pretty close to my chin. What you'll find again with the people, with some coaches that hold two pads, is they're padding out here, which can give it, or even worse, they're out here somewhere, which can give a real false or a misconception of range. So with one pad, I can hold it, as you can see, really close to my chin, which is obviously the target area. And the idea is to make pads as transferable and realistic as possible so that when our boxers get in the ring to spar, it doesn't feel like it's a completely new sport to them, and it does feel like they've transferred some of their skills over. So the very first point, the good point about single pads is we can get the pad close to the target area, which is our chin. Now, if we're working, I mean, there's loads of different types of pad work. We're not going to go into them today. But if we're working at a specific punch, say we've got a novice on the pads. Again, it's an orthodox boxer. What you've got is, not only have you got the target area close to the chin, so you're helping them with their range, I've also got a free hand here. So if they're dropping maybe their rear hand when they're throwing the jab, I can use this lead hand to cue them in, to point, to have a look. So I do have this hand spare. I can work on the defense. So maybe if they're dropping the right hand when they jab, as they jab, I can use my left hand to make sure they're keeping their rear hand up. So it gives me the option and the use of this lead hand to act as a tool as a coach. So that's another good point. One target. We always go on about having one target. Now, sometimes when you're holding two pads, you get this effect, which is someone with a massive head or someone that is boxing two people at once. So that can lead, like I say, to a false target. One pad, one target. So 3 great points there for using single pads. There are plenty more, but they are, I would say, the 3 most common pros of using single pads. When we start building up into combinations of other shots, other straight shots, then we bring in the lead hand. And again, let's say we're putting in a 1-2 lead hook, all orthodox. You can keep everything nice and compact, quite easy. So that to me looks like one head. It's the size, the shape of one head. So again, it makes it a more realistic target. Whereas going on to 2 pads, you can start again getting up here and over here and all over the place. So we've got to make sure that you and the boxer are both on the same wavelength. You both understand what you want when you hold the pad up. Is this a rear hand? Is this a jab? So you've got to make sure the communication is there. Let's go on to 2 pads. I've gone through some of the issues that you can have. That isn't one target. That isn't a realistic target. That's a massive head or boxing 2 people. Having the pads too far away from your chin. Again, not a realistic target. Problem with that is you're then giving your boxer a false sense of range. And if they carry that on into the ring, they're going to start missing punches or falling in on their punches. You can see it, but a lot of the time we get really square on pad holders. Again, not a realistic target. So there are a lot more things that can go wrong when you're holding 2 pads. But for me, I like to and prefer to hold 2 pads. I find I can feed those pads faster, and I can offer a slightly better target, and it feels more comfortable when I'm working with 2 pads. What you've got to be careful of then is this. So what I was always taught is, imagine you've got a ball in front of you and all the pads are fed to that ball shape. It doesn't matter if they're straights, hooks, uppercuts. Imagine there's a ball, off you go. And the only other thing you've got to be aware of is the distance away from your chin. With 2 pads, you're never going to be here and here because you're going to end up hitting yourself. So there is always going to be a little bit of a distance, a little bit of a gap between your pads and your chin. So just make that gap as small as you can. So here and here, I can still pad comfortably. I'm as close to my chin as I can really get without hurting my shoulders and my elbows, and without hitting myself in the face. I can meet my little ball, but I'm not overreaching. Again, we give them a false sense of distance, and we start to hurt their shoulders, their elbows, and also we can jar our shoulders, our elbows, our wrists. So just got to be careful of that. Pros, for me, I can feed pads faster. I can offer faster combinations. For me, there's certain other drills I can do with 2 pads, and I can build up combinations faster, but I am happy that I am able to feed into a circle in front of me. If I'm coaching a novice boxer, a boxer, he or she's having a first, or they're having their first session, and we're teaching a single punch, then I'd be here. Everything getting fed to the back, my back pad, my rear pad, so I can fold correct with my lead hand, and it offers less to look at, less to think about, so they can work more on their technique. Pad holding is down to whatever you feel comfortable doing, and whatever feels comfortable in the situation that you're in, depending on the boxer that is in front of you. Something I get asked a lot: 1 pad, 2 pads, what do I prefer? To me, I've gone through, I've said 2 pads, that's my choice. I feel comfortable doing it. I've always felt comfortable doing it, but it doesn't mean to say that you shouldn't be leading or feeding to 1 pad. Guys, hope this was of some use. Hit the thumbs up button if it was. Comment below what your thoughts are. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And once again, thank you very much for watching.